Alright, I want to make a quick video for you guys to show you guys how the real differential coupling on Kia vehicles operate. Now, this is going to be on the Sportage from 2011 and up, the Kia Sorentos from 2010 and up, and they're pretty much all the exact same and they all work the exact same way. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick little video on how these guys operate. Alright, so here we have a coupling assembly off of a 2016 Kia Sorento. Now the issue with this one is that every time that you would come to a complete stop, turn the steering wheel and try to accelerate, you would get a skipping noise that would end up happening into the rear end. Now that would happen on either left or right, and if you would disable the four-wheel drive lock, well, then it would happen more constant. Or enable it, sorry. So, I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you guys how this guy operates real quick. And hopefully, this information can help somebody out into the future. So, this is a very simple system. We have a pressure sensor that's over here, okay? And the pressure sensor is used to verify the pressure that's inside of the case assembly. Now, why would it need to verify the pressure that's inside the case assembly? Because this is not a magnetic clutch assembly. Okay, this is a hydraulic clutch assembly. So, onto this case, we have a electronic pump. And that electronic pump pushes fluid inside onto a clutch pack, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So inside here, you can see that we have some orifices, and the pump takes and pushes oil and creates pressure inside of the case. So when it starts to create pressure inside the case, I'm going to remove this guy, show you guys the passages. I'll try to show you guys the passages. Let's take this guy off. Take this guy off. Alright, so as you can see here, this is where our pump sits. And all this area is filled in with fluid. So as the fluid starts to get pressurized, well, it comes over and it hits a clutch pack that's on the inside, which I'm going to show you guys at the same time. But it starts to pressurize that clutch pack. And the way that it pressurizes this is not constant. It's actually done by PWM. So you have an on-off signal that's going to the pump, and depending on the severity or how badly that the all-wheel drive system is needed, it will either get full power, partial power, or 3/4, quarter. It really depends on the situation of the driving. If you're having a high slip situation, it's the system that decides on when you need this. So we have fluid that comes in and it starts to get pressurized. Now as it gets pressurized, I'm going to take a minute to hammer this guy out. Give me a second. Take this guy off. I'm not going to need him anyway. And just give me 1 second, and I'm just going to take and remove the clutch pack. Alright, so now I hammered on the end. This system is non-functional anyway, so it was giving me issues. So it didn't matter that I was hitting onto it. So now that I have everything off, we're going to take and we're going to look on the interior of it, and we're going to see what this guy looks like. So if you guys have ever worked on motorcycles, pretty much it's the exact same principle, okay, except for instead of having a lever where you're going like this, it is done hydraulically through an electronic pump, and it comes over to your clutch pack, and then it adds pressure onto your clutch pack. So these are your clutches, and like I said, very similar to a motorcycle. You have a clutch disc, then you have a plate, then you have another clutch disc, you have another plate, and it just keeps on going. And if you look closely onto the clutch plates, not the friction disc, but I don't know if you guys can see, there's some major slippage going on onto this guy. Okay, now what I found interesting is that this guy actually rides onto a bearing. Now I'm going to show you guys this bearing. Those are just spacers. I'll pick those up in a minute. I don't know if you guys can see how bad that this race is. This guy is supposed to sit onto this one-piece bearing right here. and sit on the inside and just ride onto it. But for some reason it was slipping, and it was slipping pretty bad. You can actually feel grooves inside of it. So there was something happening with the pressure of the system. Now I don't know if it was inadequate fluid quality, if it was the pump that was starting to leave go. There was something that just wasn't right, but that's okay. We're gonna, sorry about the bad view of the bottles. So we have some spacers. Those spacers sit in there. We have our clutch packs and our bearing. Now our bearing is down at the bottom, and this guy sits onto here. I'm missing a part. I don't know where it went. We'll put it in the other way. So we have our bearing with our plate that sits inside like this, and then we have our spacers that come in and sit inside of there, like so. And then we have our cage for our clutch packs that sit here. Now there is a engage and disengage for it, and it is done primarily by hydraulic pressure, and that's how the system works. There's nothing more to it than that. So basically this guy will free spin at specific times, and then when the clutch pack gets engaged, then it'll take and it'll turn everything at the same time. So we can either have free spinning like so, and then when the clutch packs are engaged, everything turns. So just to show you guys, I put some clutch discs back in, just a few of them, and as you can see right now, I am able to take and turn the center portion freely, all by itself, no problem. Now if I take and I add just a little bit of pressure onto my clutch disc, as you can see, it starts to lock. Add a little bit more, and I am unable to turn it. Should I give you guys a view of that? Here we go. So, but basically, if I take and add pressure and then I try to turn, there is nothing that happens. And I'm forcing on it right now. As long as I can keep pressure onto it, and it doesn't turn. Then I relieve the pressure and it turns. Okay? And that's it. That's how the system works. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I hope that it helps you guys understand the way that the Kia couplings work. And I will see you guys next time.